Spastastic TV. Now, if you have been watching my channel for a period of time, maybe follow me on Twitter, you'd know that I was doing a project on a Dinosaur of a camcorder. However, it's old enough to the point where it needs its own portable VCR to work, and since I don't have the batteries for it, I know there's 2 belts in here that do need to be replaced. I figured, well, I'm going to jimmy rig this because I can't find the correct size power supply in order to get it to work. I guess I'm going to switch to probably recording this with my mobile phone, and since it has a wide angle lens, and start taking this bad boy apart and then figuring out some solutions and how I can get it to power on without having the third component, which is supposed to be like a TV channel tuner thing that's supposed to be attached off the side and connected via a proprietary port. But I'm going to take this thing apart, figure out what size the fuse is in here. I know it takes 12 volts, and figure out a way to power it from there. So, jump cut. Okay, so I chose not to start recording this with the microphone attached to this, considering it's right in my face, because, well, I'm using my cell phone camera and the microphone's like right here. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this little cover right here with the little slotted screws on top. Now, I know that's probably not going to give me really any access to this. It's just that, well, it's got screws on it and I'm taking them off. And it's pretty easy to discern these from the other ones. So, got that off. I'm pretty sure this thing just pops off. Sorry if I keep hitting the tripod. I got like the world's cheapest tripod right here. And set that over there, I guess, where you can't see it, because I am the world's most professional recording person here. So, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see on the inside of it. It's a VCR, obviously. The little belts down here are trash, which, as you can see. But anyhow, I'm going to push this thing back down, and I'm going to flip it over, because actually, you can see the 2 screws right there. Got my screwdriver over here hiding from you, after the other one had fallen on the floor. That's where I found it, anyway. It had cobwebs on it. By the way, how the hell did freaking paper wasps manage to get to a house so goddamn bad? I mean, they're just the worst in my house. I guess I could pop the battery cover off there. I don't think that might be going back on here either. Okay. Got those screws off. There's going to be a little bit of jump. I do like that this phone has a light on it. It actually makes my life a little easier. Helps with the shadowing, because you can still see the tripod shadow right there with all my lighting in the background. Oh shit, that's already wanting to come apart. That's a good sign, because I think this thing was designed to be serviced since it was made in 1981 or something. Let's figure this out. Or 80 maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it's just got a bunch of these little small Phillips screws, and it probably would be a good idea if I, had the proper size screwdriver, because if I have to get... This bit appears to be too big. But no, it's working just fine. Come off of there, you piece of crap. This would be a lot easier if I didn't have a tripod in my way. Yep. See, that's what I was talking about. Tripod in the way. Oh, and if you're a collector of stuff like this, I'm sorry, but no matter what, I'm going to break something on it. Because that's my experience with taking apart technology, is I break everything. Come on. Off of there, you fucking clip. There we go. Oh, hell, I don't like the way that looks. Jump cut! Nope, it just turns out I'm retarded. It just pops off. Has a little nice RF shield underneath it. Not quite sure for the purpose of an RF shield, but whatever. I got the thing apart. Don't know if I already said that. I'll edit it out. But anyhow, there's 2 little weird barrel jacks. One right here is where the battery would slide in, which would be right here-ish. And one right here, which I assume is for like an auxiliary power kind of thing. I have no idea what the amperage is to this. I can't really see in here. I can't tell if this is soldered into here on the board, which I'd assume it would be, considering the amount of globs of solder that are on there. Focus. This barrel jack right here is a really odd size, because most of them on the inside, I think, are 3.1 millimeters on the inside. And on the outside, they're 5.5, which is like your standard laptop connector, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But this is like a 3.5 millimeter center, and it's a center negative. If you could see that, if the camera could show, could go into macro mode, but I have it at an odd distance because, take my word for it. So this thing has a 4 amp fuse on the inside of here, and I'm not really too worried if I blow that fuse, because I'm going to try to hook power into the battery port on this thing and see if I can get it to power on. And so I figured if I'm going to find like an odd size connector, I'm going to go to a Radio Shack, which, oh my god, there's actually a Radio Shack here in Utah. There's actually a couple of them. One's clear up in Layton, and the other one's in Kanab, of all places. Go ahead and look that up on Google Maps, and you'll be like, what? And so, yeah, I figure I'm going to go there and see if I can find a connector that I can, just put some wires that hang off on the outside of them. And I figured while I'm at it, get that out of there. And maybe, just maybe, I might be lucky. And they might have some freaking belts that I can use, because these ones are starting to turn into goo, of which there's buttons on the actual camera itself that turned into goo. So I need that belt, and there's another belt that's closer to the play thing on here, but you can see me trying to remove it. So I really wish there was an easy way to get this little freaking tray thing out of here, but there isn't. But it's easy because it doesn't have the cover on it. So I need to replace this belt, which has lost a lot of its elasticity, and it's actually really gooey. But I'm just going to go down there and see if they have like a little belt pack or something like that there. And there's another one under here for the one head. I don't know if that drives it, but this one's a lot more gooey. Probably a good thing I'm getting these out now, because they would turn into just mush. And so those are the two belts I could see that have issues. There's one belt back here on the motor that's plenty tight enough. So I'm going to head down there and see if... Well, I guess these are almost the exact same size belts. I don't really think it'd matter if I bought two belts that are smaller than this, but, I'm going to head over to Radio Shack. I'll film that. So, yeah. I'm going to just have a jump cut to me walking into a Radio Shack with shaky cam. Okay, so I figured out what way this thing goes. If you ever actually used one of these little... I'm not going to pull it out because it's actually plugged in. One of these little connectors. It says tip right here, if it will focus. Okay, on this side right here it says tip. So where the tip would go, if you put it the other way, it would put it center positive. Because this machine's center negative, you got to put it in there like that. But here's for the moment of truth. I have it plugged in. It didn't turn on. I'm trying not to breathe into the microphone. As soon as I press power, it says stop. Is this thing making good connection? It's on. It's actually on. The battery thing says it's completely charged. If I press play, what happens? It's on, but it knows it doesn't have a tape in it. Because the thing's acting like it doesn't have enough power. Okay, I have an idea. And it's going to require a jump cut. Alright, my idea is, let's see what it does if you put a VHS tape in it. I grabbed Shrek, because as I record in a basement, it's likely that this thing is looking for something. Don't know what the fuck it just did right there. It didn't eat the tape, but let's see. Let's see what happens when I push eject. It ate the tape. Let's put it back down in there. Stop, stop, stop! Let's try that again. Something in here is dragging something fierce. Okay, I'm curious though. Okay, so I think I know what's happening here. It's working just fine, actually. I'm not going to hit record on... Why is Shrek 2 in the goddamn thing? This is... Whatever. What the fuck ever. So, let me stop this, set up the little Daewoo of terror, and hope I don't burn my house down. Oh yeah, and probably put the thing back together and see if the thing will eject. It's intact. It's intact. Shrek 2's intact because, I'm still going to watch that. But anyhow, yeah, let's jump cut to putting this on a TV since the Daewoo's right there, and I don't feel like trying to set that fucking Vizio up on this table. Yeah, let's just do that. So, let's go to that. Or instead of doing that, I have another idea. So this thing's still on, okay. It involves, let's see if this fucker will power on. I know I'm doing a pretty shit job of presenting this, and I have like the world's worst microphone on this camera. So this goes in a specific way. It goes in that way. Set this down for a second. This thing's powered. Holy shit, the CRT turned on. The CRT has turned on. Let me turn that off. I can see things from the front of this camera. Okay, so let's get this out, since I'm doing this very poorly. You can't really see that because this thing's doing a terrible job. Let's see if well, I guess you can just visually see if the focus is... Holy shit. This thing actually fucking works. Holy shit. I might have a video production yet. I don't think you need to try to look into a flat screen, into a freaking black and white CRT, but I gotta look through this thing. Oh god, this thing makes horrible whistling sounds. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit blown away. So, yeah, fuck yeah, this thing works. We're fucking golden here. Turn everything off. Turn the fucking CRT off. I'm gonna put this thing back together. Let's see if we can actually play a little bit of Shrek 2 on this thing. Because fuck it, why not? I'm gonna have to find some RCA connectors and whatnot. But yeah, this thing appears to work. And I think I can take this and put a pass-through on it so I can actually record it directly to a capture card. But judging from the picture from the little CRT that it has in it, it was working just fine. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, I realized I just recorded a bunch of crap about me taking this thing apart. It didn't need to be taken apart. I needed to replace the belts, but, it's got a stupidly long cable for a remote. And I was actually surprised to find out that putting that 2.5 amp freaking universal barrel jack connector thing that I bought from Radio Shack works great. And this thing actually works. I mean, I figured out that you had to click the memory button on it in order to actually get it to keep playing. But, yeah, no, it works. So let's watch a little bit of Shrek 2.
Fiona and Simon to crown the next. Off, far away, idols.
Okay, now, stop. Now, this isn't all I'm going to do with this. I'm actually going to see if I can pass through this with the camera. Not sure how that's going to work, so I need to go fuck with it for a minute. And it turns out, as soon as you plug the camera on, you can do the freaking bypass thing, and I'm actually holding the camera right now and doing videoception. But no, I mean, if you streak this thing a little bit, it's actually kind of interesting. Now, if I had actually had a freaking, whatchamacallit, if I actually had a capture card, I probably would record video via direct capture, because this doesn't look that bad. However, what you can't see is where the studio lights are in the background. It does the 80s fucking, like, light trail thing after it freaking finally focuses. But yeah, thing works quite well. Let's see what happens. I want to put it on over here. I'm changing the white balance of the camera. So with a blue. Because this does not look very good color-wise. Actually, that looks pretty good color-wise. But that's because I'm in indoor. If I switch it to outdoor. Well, that looks way fucking better. But if I switch it all over to red balance, it looks terrible. I'll switch it all the way over to blue balance, it still looks kind of terrible. So obviously color freaking things aren't doing this. Now, no idea what that means. I didn't do anything. But yeah, no, this whole thing makes a lot of annoying noises. And have you ever, you like reverberation? So yeah, fuck yeah. This looks like this is going to work great. I'm Spaztastic. Thanks for watching. The next thing you're going to see with this camera is it being used. And yes, the panties are still on the wall.